All right, we're back, dudes, and it's 10.10. We're doing collaborative games. The purpose of collaborative games is to encourage participants in an elicitation activity to collaborate in building a joint understanding of a problem or solution. All right, let's look at it from a human's perspective. Collaborative games are basically people that are trying to. You're putting 3, 4 people and you're kind of creating a game around whatever they're working on, whether it is a solution for world hunger or a way to better give service in a restaurant. And what's a game if not kind of like, don't think of a game as winners or losers, but think of a game as changing elements and everyone kind of like rushing to do their part, right? Like, if you're playing as a team when it comes to football, anytime the ball goes from one place to another, the whole team kind of like switches positions to be ready and anticipating it. That's a game. Almost all ball games are the same, except, for example, for tennis. But tennis, badminton, these are kind of like one-on-one. There are also like games that are very like, I want to say like, what is chess as a game? Interesting. I actually had a video around it once, a voice note around it once, where I kind of like discussed the different games that people tend to play with something, and how it kind of like develops and evolves. I feel it's impressive when you find a crack, and then it kind of like people start noticing it. And I never mind. Anyway, so there are also Monopoly games which are like super competitive, but the idea is like everyone kind of like tries to game what they're doing. Like, and it makes sense if you go to work and you kind of like game your day. Then by the end of the day, you're always kind of like doing better, or feeling in control, not just like the energy sucked out of you. Simply because you're kind of like finding the places where you can be in charge. So. So a good story to share would be basically a coffee shop in somewhere, a case study about a coffee shop where the manager came to everyone and was like, okay, let's imagine what the worst case scenario would look like for a customer. And the beauty was every single one of them basically would say something like, sticky floor, 5 minutes before the waiter says hi. Right, and they all started creating that imaginary situation where the customer is having the worst time ever. And after they did that, what ends up happening is after they did that, the manager asks them, okay, like how can we avoid that? And ultimately, all of them together kind of like had created that scenario in their heads. And after creating that scenario in their head, everyone individually kind of like started having different ideas, and they started allocating their own. Like their own responsibilities, their own positions. I'll do this, I'll do that, and then eventually a whole lot of things were basically like sorted out. And again, like it was a positive outlook because like fuck yeah, like if you actually truly see clearly everything around you, then ultimately you can develop whatever you want on it because you would be able to understand it. You'll have enough information and knowledge. Let's go for description. Collaborative games refer to several structured techniques inspired by gameplay and are designed to facilitate collaboration. Each game includes rules, keep participants focused on specific objective. The games are used to help the participants share their knowledge and experience on a given topic, identify hidden assumptions, and explore the knowledge in ways that occur during the course of normal interactions. The shared experience of the collaborative game encourages people with different perspectives on a topic to work together in order to better understand an issue and develop a shared model. Of the problem of the potential solutions, many collaborative games can be used to understand the perspectives of various stakeholder groups. Collaborative games often benefit from the involvement of a neutral facilitator who helps the participants. Wait, I got lost here. I got lost because I started thinking of how I would apply this to Tipper and how I would apply this to the hard port. Many collaborative games can be used to understand the perspectives of various stakeholder groups. Collaborative games often benefit from the involvement of a neutral facilitator who helps the participants understand the rules and the game. It's true. My bad. It's the neutral facilitator that threw me off guard. In football, it's basically شو اسمه, the referee, right? Enforces those rules. The facilitator's job is to keep the game moving forward and to help ensure all participants play a role. Collaborative games usually involve a strong visual or tactile element. Activities such as moving sticky notes, scribbling on whiteboards, drawing pictures help people overcome inhibitions, foster creative thinking, and thinking laterally. All right, so like, what are the elements? Well, the game purpose, each different collaboration game has a defined purpose. You have to, or else you're just playing for the sake of playing, which ends up being a waste of time, especially on company time, right? Because you have a goal, you have a vision. That is specific to that type of game. The facilitator helps the participants in the game understand the purpose and look towards the successful realization of that purpose, okay? Process. Each type of collaborative game has a process or set of rules that, when followed, keeps the game moving towards its goal. Each step in the game is often timed by time, limited by time. Makes sense. So each type of the process, set of rules that, when followed, I am not focused, man. Helps participants in the game understand the purpose of the work. Okay, so it was gibberish. Okay, it wasn't gibberish. Sorry, my bad. It was just, I don't know. The minute I associated this part here with the referee, like all of it basically kind of like became. I was just reading it for the sake of getting it over with. When followed, keeps the game moving towards its goal. Exactly. Each step of the game is often limited by time. Games typically have at least 3 steps. An opening step in which participants get involved, learn the rules of the game, and start generating ideas. The exploration step in which participants engage with one another to look for connections between their ideas, test those ideas, and experiment with new ideas, of course. And closing step. All right, the opening step is basically where we kind of like, where we figure out where we're playing, how we're playing, what exactly we're going to be doing, and why we're doing it. And then after that, we kind of like explore the different thoughts we get out of it, and then the closing step. So I would describe that as flooding with information, trying to adapt to the information, and then applying them. And then you have the outcome. At the end of the collaborative game, the facilitator and participants work through the result and determine any decisions or actions that need to be taken as a result of what the participants have learned. Like, somebody has to be documenting all that shit and like, what exactly are we doing? There are many types of collaborative games available, including but not limited to the following: product box, affinity map, fishbowl. They're just giving us examples of games that you could play from a business perspective. Construct a box of the product as if it was being sold in retail store. Used to help identify features of a product. For UI UX, by the way, this is amazing. Participants write down features of sticky notes and put them on the wall and then move them closer to our features and appear similar in some way. Used to help identify related or similar features of themes. Participants are divided into 2 groups. One group of participants speak about a topic while another group listens intently and documents their observations. Used to identify hidden assumptions or perspectives. Usage considerations. Fishbowl. Yeah. I just got an idea that I think will be good, will be cute, that I would actually like have I would have one of those sessions where we kind of like brainstorm. And all right, I'm gonna say, man, since I have nobody to kind of brainstorm with, I was thinking of kind of like random Zoom meetings where we brainstorm online and where we kind of like build a community around what I'm working on, right? But again, I've been feeling funky the past couple of months, so I've been exploring a funky feeling the past couple of months, right? It's been coming out of me, so let's see how that kind of like looks. Usage considerations. Strength, may reveal hidden assumptions, difference of opinion, encourages creative thinking. Okay, just to be clear, The fishbowl thing is speaks about the topic while other group listens intently and discovers their observations. And the fishbowl thing is because they put all topics in a fishbowl. They put all topics in a fishbowl. It's because it's pointing at me, man. You put all topics in a fishbowl and you basically start extending. Everyone takes something, they talk about it, they discuss it, and the other side listens, and then they kind of like back and forth do that. And the goal is to see what other people think, right? Or to basically like explore what is hiding underneath what people say they think they're saying. Because most of the time we're explaining something in our heads, but the translation for others is just a bit harder. So yeah. So what are the strengths? Reveals hidden assumptions, encourages creative thinking. Hidden assumptions are differences in opinion. Encourages creative thinking by stimulating alternative mental processes. Challenges participants who are normally quiet or reserved to take more active role in team activities. Some collaborative games could be useful in exposing businesses' needs that aren't being met. That'll be interesting. I wish they gave an example for that. Limitations. The playful nature of the games may be perceived as silly as make participants with reserved personalities or cultural norms uncomfortable. Come on, dude. You have to build trust before that then first. And games can be time-consuming and may be perceived as unproductive, especially if the objectives or outcomes are unclear. Group participation can lead to a false sense of confidence in the conclusions reached. Absolutely, absolutely. That's why like it's necessary to have the referee or the person that's kind of facilitating the whole thing, because sometimes all of us as a group can get excited and then lose a small track of what we're doing. We're done. Next is concept modeling.